I'm really proud of the campaign on Sausage Party.
Great. Why is that?
Because the idea of an R-rated cartoon where the main character is a hot dog, it was just a real challenge from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
It was.
I wonder why.
It was. I mean, it happened to be a great movie, which probably was the only shot that it had, because nobody would have expected that it was actually going to be a smart, really funny, really well-made movie. And the marketing campaign managed to find a way to make sure that people knew that, and the movie got out. So yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I would second that. We were fortunate enough to bring Seth Rogen into a supermarket.
Oh yeah, right.
And we created animatronic fruits and vegetables. He was in the control room with a camera and was able to mouth and speak as a cantaloupe.
He was clowning on
and
the people
sausage, right.
who were shopping for their groceries.
So it was, taking the fun of this movie and the craziness of this guy, putting it in the real world, and we ran with it because it was just a fun movie, and it was a way that people could actually experience the movie in real life. But yeah, I forgot about that. That was a fun one.
We don't know if this one is a success yet because it just happened last weekend. So we're working on the documentary Jane with National Geographic. And so we did a couple things, but one thing I'm hoping will pan out well was actually just doing school field trips. So part of it was we wanted to get girls in STEM programs, kids in low-income areas, usually schools that don't have field trip budgets, and bus kids into theaters on Fridays, selfishly to stuff the box office with ticket sales on Friday, but also to bring these kids in to see Jane. And each of the kids are going to be writing a letter to Jane about how she's affected them or how she made them more interested in animals or the environment, and then we'll do something awesome with it when I can share it. Yeah.
We were trying to get kids to eat fruits and vegetables, by the way. Just so I don't feel bad about myself.
I really liked Sausage Party. I thought it was great.
I think mine's actually a win and a lose example that I was trying to think about. And it was 2 years of my life that I will never get back. And but with Ghost in the Shell, we were working with Honda out of Japan. And the script came in, and we actually received it on behalf of an automotive opportunity. And anytime you can Ghost in the Shell, there's a suspension of belief you have to get your client to sign on to. And that's the challenge for us, is a lot of brands are like, well, we wouldn't exactly we don't know what we're going to look like in this fictitious universe that doesn't exist. And so you're always trying to sell that in, and it's a hard sell. And with this came in for a car opportunity. So yeah, but it actually we found out that one of the designers, an engineer at Honda, he really loved Ghost in the Shell as the graphic novel. And it was the inspiration for a new bike that he had created. And it was actually a new type of riding style as well, too. So it wasn't a street bike. It was like a hybrid, how you positioned yourself. It was very complicated. But it turns out he was always motivated in the back of his mind by this novel. And that's what created how he developed this bike. So we went to the filmmakers and said, would you consider crafting a scene that had Scarlett on this bike that we'll make with you together? And so it was 18 months of 10:30. I'm in LA, so it was like 10:30 conference calls, and kids in the background, low crawling to get snacks out of the kitchen. And then, they were in New Zealand, and then you had our engineers in Tokyo. So you had 3-hour conference calls to translators to get this all done. And Honda was very cooperative, collaborative, and very gracious, and so were the filmmakers. And cut to the film didn't do so great here in the States, but it was actually okay because it did really great in Asia. But it was 2 years, and it was in retrospect, if we would have probably preferred to have more of a campaign model with that client, and said, great, why don't you work on other shows in between and get some beats along the way in Netflix series or this and that, because at the end of the day, domestically here at least, there wasn't really a lot of awareness that was raised because the film didn't resonate here. But in Asia, which is actually where we were tasked out of, it was huge, and they loved her, and it turned out really great.